baby. Gee. Hello, I'm Tatiana from 21 Kittens Art Studio and welcome to today's video. This is the portrait that I want to try and paint today. Or try and sketch, and I'm going to use my 6B Mars Lumograph that I've had since the 90s. I first start my sketch by using basic shapes, like a circle for the head and some loose lines for the body, which in this case is covered under the bed sheets, so it's just an amorphous blob for now. I just have to have an approximation of where the elements are located, and I'll worry about the details later. Once I have the elements somewhat in place, I can start defining the shape of the head, looking carefully at my reference picture to understand where the elements sit in relation with one another. Like for example, the space between the eyes should be more or less as wide as the eyes will be. Notice where the corners of the ears make a line to the eyes' corners, and so on. It is important that I place the face features as correctly as possible, so that the face won't look wonky. It's possible the circle will be too big, so I just adjust as needed. Always remember to look at the reference picture. Once I'm happy with my sketch, I can start honing in the details. I usually start with the eyes, because they are going to convey the cat's expression, looking closely at where the shadow and light fall. It might look weird when you're drawing it, but it will make sense once it's all done. I now start adding the shading on the head, always taking into account where the lighter parts are. Okay, so let me just chat with you for a moment about this painting, or about the tool that I'm using. It is actually my Mars Lumograph, so it's a Steadler pencil, and it's an A6, 6B. I got them maybe in 1997 when I started art school, which I never finished. And yeah, the reason I have them taped together is because I didn't want to have two of them just running around with my other pencils, because I have like a sort of complete set of the Mars Lumograph, and so that I would use the 6B in a continuous way rather than just picking one and picking the other, picking one, picking the other. I decided to just make a whole pencil, like a double-ended pencil with it. And it's actually quite convenient for me, because on one end I can leave the tip rather blunt to do the shading, and then the other tip I can sharpen for the small details. And the fact that it's actually longer is also more comfortable for my hands. In my studio tour video, I mentioned that my hands were hurting. I am recording this on the 2nd of February, so it hasn't been that long, since I have my hands being sore. And I'm stupid. Like, I shouldn't be drawing. I never draw, or rarely draw. But for some reason today, I just had to do it. I didn't want to use watercolors. I didn't want to be on the computer. I was feeling a bit tired. The weather is kind of crap. And I thought, you know what? Let's just do a quick cat portrait. I don't know, I just wanted to do something different. I actually wanted to use this paper because I have quite a lot of this. I don't know what the paper is called. For sketching, it's actually quite good, for practice. And I thought, I might as well practice some cats. And it wasn't my intention to make it sort of realistic. I'm not going to call it proper realistic because I'm not very good at it. But that's how I tend to always draw. So when I'm drawing, I have a hard time drawing like wonky cats, like on purpose. They turn out wonky on their own. But this one is actually turning out nice. I'm trying not to be too precise, as long as I have everything placed sort of in the right place. I'm happy with that. The particulars with this portrait is also that Chibi has these special markings on her nose. She has the white nose, and then the white sort of, I don't know if these would be called cheeks or, you know, upper lip, so to say. And they have different shapes. So this one is a bit more round, and then this one just sort of goes more like a mustache. And then her chin is black. And the nose is not like even white. It sort of cuts off over here, turns into black. And then the nose itself, so like the bit without the hairs, it's white and then it's pink. And when she was younger, it used to be split right in the middle. So it would be like all black here and this part would be all pink. But with age, she has started to develop like black here and black over here. That's why her markings are so particular. And to me, she is the most cutest cat I have ever seen. Like, to me, she's so cute. She's so sweet. She's the sweetest cat. She's amazing. But yeah, speaking of her markings, so then the white, you can't really see it here. You can see it more when she's like her head is stretched, her neck is stretched, and there's like a little bit of white that trickles down into her neck. So I like to joke and say, oh, you know what, she was drinking milk and it started, she started dripping the milk, and that's why she has the stain of white over here. But she's super cute. And this picture was taken in my bed one morning when I woke up and she was sleeping next to me, you know, so this is like my second pillow and she's leaning on there. And I was like, oh, I have to take a picture of her. She just looks adorable here. So that's the picture. That's the story of the picture, and that's the particulars of Chibi and her markings. And having said that, I think I was able to sort of get it kind of similar, like fairly similar. I'll see once it's finished, and I'm sure I'm going to find mistakes with it, but I'm just gonna go with it. I gotta say, it's turning out much better than I expected. I'm really liking that I have her expression somewhat nailed. I will add more details after, and I might go with a darker pencil. I wanted to stick to the 6B so that I can use it up as well. But if I need to darken some areas even more afterwards, I will use a darker pencil. This part is going to be a bit tricky because of the white hair and then the little tufts of hair. And I'm trying to work in this direction, even though I didn't quite do it on here, so that I don't smear the page too much. I don't know if the composition is going to be the best. See, now I'm starting to overthink the painting. I like where it's going, and now I want to make it special. So I will have to do something for the background, maybe some detailing here on the pillow. I haven't done like a proper sketch in quite a while. I like making them, but it's just they take so much time, and oftentimes I then have my wrists and my hands hurting. That's why I don't tend to do them that often. The constant holding the pencil hurts my hands. I didn't used to have this problem, it's just I've gotten weaker. Okay, so I'm going to leave it at that. It's already 2 o'clock and I need to have lunch, and I need to give my arm a rest and my hand as well. So I'll speak to you later. I'll be back either this afternoon or tomorrow, but I'll definitely finish this piece. I have now finished the sketch of Chibi. I didn't get to film it because I just got in the zone and completely forgot about that. But what I've done is, on the eyes, I have applied a bit of green color pencil, and I also tried to do some pink on her nose, on the little white bits, but it's barely noticeable. I use this Derwent Artists Pink Mother Lake for the nose. But the thing is that because it already has some pencil on it, whenever I painted with it, I was just smudging around the charcoal. And I've done everything still with a 6B pencil. I've added some details on the nose as well, as you can see. Made it sharper as well, and more shading as well. And here on the neck, I tried removing some of the charcoal with my mono eraser, but it's just making everything more dirty. For the bedding that is surrounding her, I've just done some loose lines. Same here. Did some shading. I can still add some more over here, but I don't think it's necessary. I like the way it is, where all the focus is on the cat itself, and then that's the pillow where she's laying her head, and also some shading over here. Everything's looking kind of faded. I think it's because of the light that I have in here. It is cloudy outside, so I don't have much light. I am considering using white pencil now. I don't know if it would do anything. Maybe I could add some white soft pastel on her nose and her little cheeks, just to give it a bit more contrast, and maybe also on her neck here, and then also to do the whiskers, because she has white whiskers. Yep, I'm trying to do the whiskers, and the only thing that I'm managing with this pastel pencil is to just drag around the charcoal. So I'm getting these lines just like I did here, which here is not too bad. Actually, it looks cute, but here it looks a bit weird. So I'm gonna have to use my my kneading eraser, I think, for that. I am using a kneaded eraser to remove the graphite and that way create more light on the painting. I am also using it to add her whiskers. This is quite tricky because I need them to be extra fine, so I have to keep molding the eraser into a very thin and flat surface each time. I then go back in with my pencil to make the whiskers more contrasted. Mind you, I am not drawing the whiskers, I am defining the shadows of the whiskers. Okay, the cat is done. I'm actually quite proud of myself. I think it came out nice. This might be looking a bit flat, maybe. So I might just need to give it a quick hand. Well, it's been a few days since I last painted my chibi portrait. I actually thought it was finished, I signed it, I put the date on it, and as I was watching the footage so that I could edit this video, I realized that I didn't feel it was quite finished. My husband really likes it, so we want to actually put it on our walls, and I think it's lacking a bit of contrast, especially in the background areas. I mean, the cat is fine. So I think what I'll do is I will try to complete the background using some white soft pastel. I'm gonna try, I think, with the pencil first. And the one that I'm using is the Derwent pastel pencils. I've had this since forever. And after I'm done, I'm gonna spray it with varnish. The other day I wanted to spray it and I thought, oh, I forgot to do that today, and it's been very windy outside, so I've not had the chance to do that. So I'm actually grateful for that, because now I can apply some more color on the background. Yeah, I just started applying the color without thinking. Yeah, it's good that it's there, but I think I'm not gonna go with the pencil. I need a bigger tip, so to say. And apologies for me not having any language skills today. I hadn't planned on filming, I had planned on editing. And well, it's all a mess, because I had planned on editing a video that I filmed a while ago, only to realize that I don't like the footage, like the angles. aren't the best, and I know that one of you said that the angles weren't too great, that they were making them dizzy, and I completely understand that, so I'm trying to improve that. And so the one that I had filmed, I didn't like the angles, and I was trying to fix it in editing, but still I wasn't being able to do that. So I've had to scrap that, and I'm gonna have to edit the video for this cat. Of course, if you're watching this, you've already watched me paint the whole cat and everything. But this is a bit of the background story and what happens. Remember that this was just supposed to be an exercise for me, like exercising, sketching, and drawing cats. And now it's going to be a finished piece that I hang in my house. Yeah, I think I'm going to put a bit more emphasis on the eyes, and also using the pastel. I don't even know if I'm getting any color on that, or if I'm just blending the charcoal. I know they're like quite dark in the picture, and the shapes that are reflecting are they're not even. Now I'm doubting whether it's anatomically correct. It's not the iris that expands, it's the pupils, and they're going to be black, and she doesn't seem to have any pupils there. Yeah, see, I've I've done it anatomically incorrect. What you see here is more the pupils are completely expanded, and you just get the green, so the iris on the sides, and I've done it the other way around. God knows why. Okay, I know what I'm doing, I think. Okay, I remember now why I did it the other way around. My initial idea for the painting, like once I saw that it was turning really nice and I decided to add some color, I decided to put the color on top of the pupil as if it was like a reflection with a bit of color, but not really to show the color of the cat's hair and the cat's eyes. It was more like a sort of reflection. And that's why I did it that way. And today I completely forgot that, and I just went with it because I also wasn't thinking. Oh, okay, I'm back. I went to spray it outside and it's so windy, oh my god. It dried out really quickly. I did 2 layers of it, and let me see, because I wasn't able to check outside. It was just, it was flying everywhere. Yep. It seems to have done the trick. Okay, great. There's still some residue here on this part, even though I did like one way like this, and yeah, I can't. Did I do 2 or 3 layers? I think I just did 2 layers. Yeah, because of the wind. But the pastel is not coming off, so that's a good thing. Yeah, the way that we'll frame this is with the glass on top. So it's also going to be protected, but in the meantime, to avoid any smudging, I needed to apply the varnish. So what do you think? Did you like it? Didn't turn out too bad, huh? As always, I want to thank you for being here with me, to watching my videos. It does make a difference, to giving the videos a like, to leaving your comments. I am trying to make my YouTube channel a thing, and it's also a way to keep me accountable with my art, so that I don't stop making art, which is why this channel is important to me. I hope you all have a great rest of your week, and I'll speak to you soon. Bye for now.